Yeah.
So they're meant to be miniature plants.
Yes.
They are designed for tininess.
Yep.
Do you know the names of all of them?
No, because there's a lot.
Yeah. I was going to say it would be hard to keep track for sure.
Yeah, but I brought, where's that one that's a little hosta? It's
A little mini hosta.
It's a
Oh,
it's a hostage situation.
That is so cute.
Here's a miniature hosta.
And so it will stay little like that?
Uh-huh. It's a fairy plant.
That's adorable. Do they flower?
I haven't seen it flower.
Okay, I
but
didn't
it
know. I
might.
didn't know if
Sometimes-
miniatures don't.
Sometimes we don't have them long enough, and then people
Oh, yeah.
like buy them and they take them
Yeah.
home, and then they send us pictures, and then we're like, oh my gosh.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. How
But like
gorgeous.
this one has a tiny little rose.
Wow.
I think you may have just created a bit of a monster in my house.
Past the fire, past the sounds. Moonshine through the clouds, saddle up, 'cause there's no stopping me now.
Yes.
Hello.
Here we are once again.
Welcome to Living Well
Living
Together.
well together.
Big life in a small town.
Small town. And we're going to do small town, small things.
This is going to be all small
Yeah,
things.
our
We're so
episode.
excited. It's going to be really fun. We have with us today.
Kim Lemkau. Kim Lemkau, ladies and gentlemen. That's my radio voice. And she's going to talk to us tonight about her small, independently owned business
Yeah. And
in
guess
our
what
fair city.
Is it
Well,
Yellow Springs or
it's
Fair?
actually in the village, yeah, over in Yellow Springs.
Yellow Springs. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
This is some of her beautiful work right here. We've never
I
had
think-
such a
I was
beautiful
gonna say,
demo.
she's the first guest
Yeah.
we've had who actually brought like a stage to,
Yes,
to
this
put
looks
together. This
so
is gorgeous.
Miniature gardening.
Miniature gardening. So tell us a little bit about it. Tell us how you get started. Because, like, is it something that you knew about when you were growing up or?
I didn't.
Okay.
So I used to be a mortgage broker most of my life.
Okay.
So I was in banking and it was good, but I wanted to do something really fun. So
Wait a minute. You mean mortgage banking
It's
wasn't
not
really
fun?
fun?
it wasn't all that fun.
Were you here in Ohio? Back up even further. Are you an Ohioan by like
no.
birth and
I'm from California.
okay?
So, and then I moved to Michigan for a while. And then in 2015, I moved to Ohio.
Okay.
Well, welcome to our fair state.
And did you move directly to Yellow Springs?
I did not. I've
Okay.
been in Yellow Springs since 2016,
Okay.
which is a fun little town.
It is a really fun little town.
Dave Chappelle lives there and
Yes.
is very active in the community.
He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be sitting where you sit.
Oh,
He doesn't.
good.
Yeah, we haven't told him. He doesn't know yet. So I'm just putting that out into the universe.
Does he have a fairy garden?
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he got one as a
He
gift.
might have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah. No, he does. He is very active there. And
Yes.
he just opened up a whole new place himself over there, too.
Yep. He has
But it's not his episode, so don't spoil alert.
We're
it.
not going
We're
to
gonna
do
talk
that.
about Kim's
Yeah.
biz.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but you've been in the village. You live in the village as well as have your business in the village.
right
Yeah.
across the street from the store. Yep.
Beautiful. And you're a mom. I know that you're a mom. Tell us about your offspring.
I have two older children that are grown and gone, and then I have a 16-year-old that I'm homeschooling,
Oh, nice.
Tristan.
And he is a brilliant little man.
Oh, wow.
He is a brilliant little man. I really like him. You're doing good with that one.
Yeah, he's
I can't speak for the other two. I've never met them. You're doing good with the teenager, though.
That's awesome. I'm sure Terry told you that we also homeschooled. What's your favorite part about homeschooling?
That we get to do our own curriculum and some of the things we can choose what we want, and if he's especially interested in something, then he could go off on that for a while.
Exactly.
And he's a brilliant kid. I
Well,
mean,
right. Yeah. Like you can nurture that passion that he has and his unique brilliance.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
okay, so sidetrack. I just have
Okay,
to.
yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. The thing that we like about doing independent business stuff with independent business people is that people will come to your store not always just because of the fabulousness of your wares, but because of you.
The
and the vibe that
fabulousness of
the
you.
vibe that you're setting, and so I think it's important for people to know and like and interact with the owners of different businesses that they want to frequent.
Yeah.
So we like knowing about you, and
Right,
then you
we
can
do.
tell us more about how we get to some of this lovely.
Okay. So 2016, you get to Yellow Springs. Are you still doing more mortgage banker stuff?
I was, but I was phasing into the fairy garden stuff.
Got it.
And it originally started where I took a few things and I would go to festivals or craft shows or farmers markets. And I thought, oh, I'm going to start with antique prints. I thought antique prints are the thing. And
What's an antique print?
an antique print where you take one from, I had them from the 1800s and then I would go and scan them in Photoshop them. And I thought, oh, that's going to be big. So I put all this money into that. And then I had that out. And then I had a little bit of fairies because I thought, oh, these are cute. you know. And
Kind of fun.
Yeah, so no one bought the antique prints, but everyone would buy the little fairy gardens and the little fairies. And then they would tell me about their fairy gardens. And I would say, well, what's a fairy garden? Yeah.
Oh,
And so then they would tell me about them and they either wanted one, they had one, or they knew someone who had one. And I was like, wow, this is a thing, right?
Yeah.
So, and so then I just started researching fairy gardens. And
So it's your own customers that kind of got you really excited about them.
right. And so I learned from that.
Yeah.
You go with what they want, right?
Exactly.
And I happen to love fairy gardens, but there's, little things that maybe the customers love that I may not particularly like they love trolls. And I'm like, well, trolls are kind of icky, but they can be cute. And the customers love trolls, so we get trolls, and you just find your way through what people love, right?
So you do have trolls and fairies
We
now?
do have trolls.
Okay.
Have you found?
Bigfoot, by the way, little
my
miniature
gosh.
Bigfoots. And yes.
So did they ask you to, bring some things in special for them?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes. And if I get enough requests for something, then I'm looking for it. And then and things have shifted, with the economy. We've had some of the sources, kind of, closed down or they retired or something.
Yeah.
So we had to get creative. And so now I'm starting to design some of our own things.
That is so exciting. Do you want to show us
Sure.
what you're designing?
So we
Well, I have a
several
question
things.
though.
Okay,
Have you
but go
figured-
ahead.
Have you noticed that the customers that are requesting certain, each fairy has a little different. Do you feel
They
like
they
the
all have a
customers match the fairy, or the fairy matches the customer? Like the guy who wants a
good
troll
question.
versus like the gargoyle scary guy. Does he actually look like a gargoyle scary guy? Have you any correlation?
No, but I do get grandparents like to do this with their grandkids. It's
Okay.
popular activity, right?
So we're going to build it from scratch.
Yeah, like outside or indoors or terrarium. But a lot of the people do it outside where they do maybe in their flower beds or in a
Yes.
big pot. And grandparents will come in and they'll look for the fairies that look like their grandkids. Right? So they want one that represents.
So
each
there
of their
is some truth to that.
There
Like
is.
owners, they always say owners look like their dog or dogs
That
look
is
like
true.
their owners.
Which
I
is
didn't know if
so crazy true. I don't know. It's wild.
or if like people had a certain affinity for the trolls that they were seeking. I didn't know. Well, down at Glen Laurel, there is a gnome garden.
Yes. Well, they have gnomes kind of all over.
Right, but when you get one down to that point
Yes.
where the benches are, I bet there's 100 little gnomes that people bring and deposit and whatever else.
And it's kind of fun to find them too. So it would be the same as the fairy gardens, or
Just
even
not miniature.
Just not miniature. They're they're bigger.
So part of this is about you taking things from your suppliers that your customers prefer. But another part of this is about you getting to be as creative as you want to be and designing some of your own things for your customers.
True. Yes.
But that is very cool.
Yes. So I've been doing the miniature gardening for quite a while now. So I get a lot of feedback from customers. I know what they like based on what they buy.
Right.
Or what they were looking for. Or sometimes they create their own things from homemade
Really?
stuff, like, little chairs made from acorns. And so,
Gosh, that is so cute. I can't wait to hear what other people have to say about that
yes,
too. Yeah.
yes, people are amazing.
Little acorn chairs.
Acorn chairs and so I started to design things that I think that people would like.
Right.
So this is one of my first items that I had designed, and I drew basically pictures of it, and then this is kind of
I'll hold
a
it and you can do
hobbit
the show and tell.
hobbit house.
Yeah.
And the door opens and closes.
Oh my gosh, isn't that
And
so cute?
you can put lights in it, and you can put it in a hill and maybe have moss growing over it and whatever characters you want.
So you can use it outside.
Right. So all of the fairy garden stuff is made of a resin.
I was going to say, it's a really sturdy
Yeah.
whatever substance.
Yeah. So water
It
can't
is
get in. Like a
adorable.
clay pot
Yeah.
is porous and water can get in. And
That
then
makes
the freeze
sense.
comes and then
Right.
it expands and cracks it.
Yeah.
So this is all made of poly resin.
Oh, wow.
Which a lot
So
of
even
good
if you have like little, they probably have little lights that you can leave in there then.
You can put little, like just even
LED?
Christmas lights in there
yeah.
or whatever and just
Oh
pop
my
them up on
gosh.
So it's an indoor-outdoor hobbit house. And I can feel that the bottom is
hollow.
hollow. So that's where the lights would go. Can I tip it upside down?
Yes, of course.
There we go.
There we go.
So you can, like even white lights, Christmas lights. And then the windows are functional?
They,
Like the light
they
will
have
come
glow in
through?
the dark paint on them.
Nice.
Very cute. Very cute. And so you design this, then you have a manufacturer that makes them.
Right.
Okay. And are they exclusive to your shop?
Yes. So
So we can't get this anywhere else in the world.
Right. So I'm
That's super
currently have about
special.
20 items that we are only that are exclusive to our store.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, and we're just expanding on that as we go.
I think that's just incredible. And I love that your customers are a source of inspiration for you.
Right.
You know, like that you're taking all of their little ideas and bringing them to life together.
Give the people what they want.
Get the people what they want. Do you want me to hold that?
Well, I'm going to sit it down if we're done talking about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to break it.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't know that
Although it's wicked sturdy.
yeah.
It's got a little bell, a little dinner bell.
That's amazing, Kim. And so then as far as some of the plants, these would be considered indoor plants though, right?
We have indoor and outdoor.
You do in these miniature types.
Yes, we have. Gosh, I don't even know how many, but probably 150 different miniature plants.
Do you have a greenhouse?
We don't.
Okay,
we get
you
them
find
from a
just
grower.
okay.
Yep. And they're true miniatures, so they don't get taller than 12 to 14 inches tall on like the little trees.
Oh my
And like for example, we have this little tree here, and it has a tiny little rose on it. So
And it's a
these
real tree.
are true miniatures.
Yeah.
Is it a rose? What? Oh, it is a rose.
And then we have this tiny little hosta that
They
stays
are
small.
so cute because hostas if anybody has hostas, you have to break them apart and share them with your neighbors and all of that, but you don't have to do that with this.
Yeah.
This one over here has little flowers on it too.
Yes, I forget the name of that one, but yep, that's another one that doesn't get taller than 12.
The leaves
Around
remind me
12
of
inches.
thyme. Thyme.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're just all so cute. So people come in to your shop and do they make these with you or do they pick out what's already done?
Yes. So about 80% of it is just a store. You can come in and just shop the store.
Okay.
But we also have a little side room where we build a two-story high fairy tree in the room, and there's a table in the middle, so you can drop in whenever we're open and you can build stuff. And we only charge for what you put in the garden.
That is so
And it's really cool because you can take stuff off the shelf, try it, go, I changed my mind. And then if you have certain lighting conditions, then I can recommend, we can recommend what plants to use.
And also you help to guide those of us that don't have a green thumb so that we can also have fairy gardens in our own homes.
Exactly.
And what you were sharing a little bit about the succulents and how they don't need as
Yeah, succulents are easier.
Okay.
A little more
Forget to
durable.
water.
Forgiving.
Yes.
Do you ever feed them with ice cubes? I've heard this.
I've heard of that.
Okay,
but-
yeah, I had somebody say,
Yeah.
no, just drop an ice cube in there. It'll melt down and just do that every week and you should be good to go. I don't know, maybe somebody out there can tell me if that works for them.
Yeah. Well, there's hundreds of things to know about plants.
Yes.
So when people buy plants, then we give our recommendation. But even sometimes we'll get a new one in and we're like, well, we haven't researched this yet, but we'll help you right now and we'll find out because some don't like a cold draft hitting it. Some don't like the heater vent with that dry air hitting it.
Oh,
So,
that's
you know,
true.
and for terrariums, we recommend plants that like to stay moist because
Right.
Makes
So,
total sense.
you know.
This is kind of like a terrarium and a non-terrarium. Can you close this up and keep this all? So cute. Do you have like a system for putting together the different plants? Like which ones look good with which or like the way you design them?
Yeah. So when people come in and they want to make a fairy garden, I tell them that, they can use it's their own creativity,
Yeah.
whatever they like.
Okay.
But
what
I
you
do
like.
have some recommendations, which is that if around 2/3 of your garden is plants, then I think that it looks a bit better because it really looks like a garden.
Got it.
And so just
okay.
you're just have a bowl and a bunch of trinkets in it, right?
Yes.
So, and a nice balance and
Okay.
some height,
Yeah.
right?
That's what I was noticing. It's like they all just look so well put together. I didn't know if you had a method, the Kim method.
Yeah, I personally like to do about 2/3 plants.
I like it.
Yeah, and then I like stuff that's growing over the sides. Like I really like that this one's growing over the
Yes.
side, and we have something taller. And then I also noticed that with pots, like the thickness of your pot, if you have something on the top that matches and balances that thickness,
Oh, gotcha.
it kind of for the eye shows more of a balance, and it I think looks very good.
I think so too. I think it looks really good. Is that a little baby? That's a little baby deer in there, isn't it?
It is.
Cute.
And so this one is a gnome.
Uh-huh.
And he's watering his glow-in-the-dark mushrooms.
Do they really glow in the dark?
They do glow in the
Oh
dark.
my gosh.
People
That
are
is
crazy for glow-in-the-dark. It's really
great.
funny.
That's fantastic.
And then this one is mermaid
such-
garden. And then
Oh,
the
okay,
others
'cause
are
you have your
fairies.
mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
Got
There's
it.
I
all
cannot
themes.
think of a way to get further from mortgage banking than this.
I mean, really.
Like this is two sides of the very same brain, but they are very different. How did you make why not? This is a leap, first of all, right? To go from here's a job that I was pretty well lodged in, and then I got this side hustle going, and I started out by going to festivals and craft shows or whatever, and now I've got my own brick and mortar. Are you still doing any mortgage banking?
No.
No. So how much sleep did you lose deciding to not do that? And I'm going to take this
to go
big
with your joy.
creative leap of faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yes. So it was a leap. I didn't know, am I going to make a lot of money? Maybe I will not be a millionaire doing fairy gardens, but I will have a much better time. The joy is worth it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm still working on ways. That's why I've started to venture into making our own,
And that's just it. Some of you have a very entrepreneurial spirit, and you're listening to what customers desire. Obviously, you're being able to bring other things and other value to them when certain product may not be available. So, but that's a numbers crunching, mortgage rates.
I mean, that's total left
people,
brain
yeah.
activity over there. And you're still helping people doing that,
right. True. Yeah.
but helping people like get into their childhood
Yes.
and just enjoying those moments where they're doing something.
very rewarding. When people come in and they say, "This is my favorite store," and they're bringing their friends, "This is my favorite store," and "This is so much fun." You hear
Yes.
that almost daily. So that
And people go to the village just to see what's there. People will walk around, and then once they find your place, are you in the King's Courtyard?
yes.
That's what I thought.
Okay, yeah.
And so once
That's such
people
a cute
discover
little area.
it is, you're in. Like that's the place.
Yeah.
And so repeat business, repeat customers.
Yes, definitely.
It's amazing to me.
So when you were making that shift, were there some things that you needed to overcome to make this a reality for yourself?
Yes, because I didn't want to borrow money to start the store.
Okay. Wow. That
So-
is admirable.
I could have, but I didn't want to risk
lend
debt
Yeah.
for the store, right? Yeah. So I started out on the side, just selling a little bit at a time and just putting it back in while doing the loans, and then growing it until I had a whole
Yeah.
ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can open the store now and I have enough inventory. And even when I started the store, half the store was full and the other half was just empty.
I love this so much.
I know. It's amazing. Yeah. Just starting from what you could do in the moment, right? And then building it to something that just has been fulfilling in your life.
Right.
I think so many people though get stuck in the not, and I don't mean mortgage lending. I don't
No,
mean
no,
that,
no.
but
And-
so many people get stuck in their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And they've got this passion to do other things with it, but they never act on that passion. My dad was one of these people.
Exactly. It's so true.
And so worked in a factory 9 to 5, put food on the table, had insurance, and that was his world. And but there's this creative energy that you are willing to say, all right, I'm going to work my 9 to 5. For actually, mortgage lending is not usually 9 to 5; it's usually 9 to 9.
Weekends.
And yes. But then you start your side hustle to fuel your passion until your passion exceeded what you needed from your 9 to 5.
Right. Exactly.
Genius level stuff.
It is. Yeah, it really is extraordinary. How did you find your space? Was there, like, did you know that's where you wanted to go and you kept waiting until the right time? Or was it just you were ready and it was available?
I knew that I needed a space
Uh-huh.
for my store. I was like, it's time. I have
Yeah.
enough stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I moved into Yellow Springs and I was walking across the street and I saw this little store. And it didn't say that it was for rent. It had another store owner in there selling his things. And I had no idea that he was thinking of leaving. Right.
Okay.
This was something in his
Yeah.
head only.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was almost like I made a prayer or something. Like I saw the store and I went, oh, that would be so cute for the little fairy garden. And when I saw it, and then that was just a fleeting sort of thing. Right. And then a little bit down the road, a couple months, I went in and I asked the guy, do you know who the landlord is for this whole complex? 'Cause I'm looking for a place for my store. And he's like, who told you? And it just so happens that he was retiring. And I said, well, if you can put in a good word, this is the stuff I want to sell. And he thought it was really cool. So he put in the good word. And so
Kim, that
Yeah.
is like, I love goosebump moments.
Serendipitous.
It is serendipitous. But like you say, that little prayer,
right.
you know,
Right place, right time.
Right.
and you didn't know.
I didn't.
You were just hopeful
I was just,
and you knew it would be perfect.
yes. Purposeful. It was very purposeful.
It's real teary-eyed. Do you incorporate any storytelling in the fairy gardens? Do you have people like as they're putting them together that they are, just telling a little story in their head, or this is why they want this particular piece, or something like that?
I don't, but I do get a lot of customers who come in and tell me that they've seen fairies. Or they believe in fairies.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
and my personal view is that maybe they're speaking of angels.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And so it's kind of similar
Yeah.
idea, right?
Mhm.
And I'll have children that come up to me as if I'm the authority and say, are fairies real? And I go, I don't know. Do you think they're real? And they'll tell me all about it. And one time, oh my gosh, I had someone from a phone call on my cell phone from someone in Florida. And it was just this random number. I'm like, I don't know anyone in Florida. I mean, my son now, but he lives there now. But before, and it was this little 5-year-old girl, and she called, and I guess she had learned how to Google things in her mom's phone. And so she put in something about the tooth fairy. And somehow my number for the little fairy garden came up. And so she calls it. And she's
Oh my
like,
goodness.
is this the tooth fairy? And I'm like, yes, it is. How are you? And she says, what do you do with all those teeth? And I said, I make necklaces for the gnomes. She goes, oh. And I hear someone in the background telling her, get off the phone, right? She's like, well, I gotta go now. My brother's here. She hangs up.
Way to flow with it. You made that little girl's whole life. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a call back from the mother?
I did text the number. Hey, your 5-year-old just
so
called
you know.
asking about the tooth fairy. Just
Told
so you know.
Told her I was her.
All right.
Better for her to know. That's awesome. So there is storytelling.
There is storytelling.
How could there not be?
Yeah.
I mean, the fantasy connected to that.
Right,
and
because I
the-
think about, like Snow White, all those types of things where they're in the woodland creatures that are all around and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. And people make little gardens that are just animals or camping scenes. Or now we have these little Bigfoots, It's just very
That's
popular.
a whole nother, it is, isn't it? It's a whole nother
Yes.
realm of
I
imagination.
mean, I'm imagining like there's sports fairies, right? Like your Buckeye collaborative garden fairy thing.
I don't know. Is there, Kim?
I got my colors in there and my
Oh,
gang
okay.
fairies. I mean, you could take this any direction. NFL fairies.
Did you say gang fairies?
I did, yeah. Can you imagine?
Gangs
gnomes?
of fairies. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I've got a whole new division. You're going to need a bigger store.
So how do you get the word out to your community? How does how does the surrounding area find you? How do they know?
Well, a lot of people bring other people in,
Okay.
and then whenever it's warm out, Yellow Springs does get busy.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do have 13,000 Facebook followers.
Oh, that's amazing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Right.
This is going to be awesome.
So do they purchase, do you ship to them too? Do you have like an online store where
We
you
were
ship?
shipping for a while.
Okay.
I am working on that. We have an Etsy page, and we are loading things
that
slowly
is
because I'm homeschooling. But that's the plan. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. So some of the new things that you're making, plus some of the other things that you have in the store. And then would it be possible to ship plants, or is that something that people have to get locally? Like how well do plants ship?
You ship
That
it-
is in
ship
the
your plants.
works. Surprisingly, plants do get shipped everywhere.
Okay.
To
All right. Yeah.
retailers.
Okay.
It's a thing. You would never know.
I ship my plants. I'm so sorry.
Well, you have a 16-year-old son, so I mean, I think that they just stay 16 forever or something. I'm not sure.
Is your son from a homeschool perspective? Is he participating in the business?
That's what I wonder too. Yeah.
Is he part of your entrepreneurial mindset and learning how to take dreams and turn them into reality and make it an enterprise?
He does have lots of business ideas,
Does he?
and
That's amazing.
he asked for a 3D printer for
I love that.
his birthday. And so he made little glow-in-the-dark dinosaurs. He said, Mom, you don't have dinosaurs at your store. So the little fairy garden buys them at wholesale from him. And he makes
So he
them
does have a
on
little
his
entrepreneurial
3D
spirit.
printer. Yes.
That is amazing.
I love that.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very cool. How has the market evolved for fairy gardens? So is it 2016 that the shop actually opened? Okay.
Yes. We've had a shift. This whole thing of designing my own items has come because I like it.
Yeah.
But also out of necessity because
Yes.
some of them have retired, some
Yep.
of the wholesale companies, and but I still every week get people in and go say, I want to do a fairy garden.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was a thing. And so it's all new. It's constantly people are discovering it. And as, people become grandmas, I think then it shifts. Okay, I'm going to do this with my grandkids. Or when I buy my house, I'm going to do a fairy garden in the yard. And
How much space does somebody need to make a fairy garden in their yard?
you can do something little. Like this one here. This one is just a little pot. And this is
Okay.
maybe it's not a full fairy garden.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go crazy.
Right, yes.
This is a miniature coleus tree that doesn't get taller than about 14 inches.
Okay.
And then you just, you can put these little characters
It's adorable.
in
Yeah.
your
And then that would be inside. Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And then there's other people that have done entire yards. I have customers that have made entire waterfalls running through their fairy garden, and then they have the beach scene, and then they have the barn and the farm, and they have
And we're talking about little tiny
everything's
figurines.
little.
Yeah.
They could get all these things at your store.
Correct.
Oh my gosh. We have to do a live remote.
We do. I'm thinking, because right now I have like a butterfly garden, but I think the butterfly garden would be really, really cute to have some fairies in it too.
That's true.
It would be really fun.
The possibilities boggle the mind.
Yes.
I love that though. Do you have a favorite plant?
Oh boy.
I mean, did you say 150 that you have?
Yes.
That would be really hard.
really do like the tree with the tiny little roses.
This one right here?
That one is lovely.
This one here or this one here?
The
The
one
same.
you're
This one
holding.
here.
It's a little white rose. Once you plant them, the
Snow
flowers
rose.
pop out more, and this time of year they'll start to pop out more. But yeah,
How long do the little flowers last?
I don't know because we sell them so fast. I don't know what happens to them except
Yeah.
for mine.
Yes. Yeah.
But they're
Do
like
you-
any plant.
so
you
you
know,
have-
they die and then new ones pop out.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
For sure. Do you have your own personal outdoor fairy garden?
I do.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I have. One of my favorites is I took 2 drawers
Okay.
from an old dresser,
Mm-hmm.
and then I tiered them,
Uh-huh.
and I lined them with plastic,
Okay.
and put fairy gardens in them. So you've got 2 drawers kind of on top of each other, but one pushed back, so you have 2 levels.
And they're outside?
And I painted the front like a teal green. And, I mean, you could take anything and make it into a little fairy garden.
And that was going to be my question: is what do I need? Let's say I
Yeah.
got 0.
Yeah.
Well, all I have is desire, and I'm
Yes,
coming into
exactly.
the store. How much should I budget for my fairy garden to get started? And what am I going to leave with? What do I need?
Yeah. Yeah. Just some advice to get somebody started.
Definitely. So we do parties also in the party room, the little workshop room. So
Okay. That's a
lot
good way
of
to get started.
times, yeah, like little kids parties, we'll tell them you can do something really cute for about $40.
Okay.
And that this may be a 7-inch bowl with a tree and some accessories,
Yes.
right? And all the little
And the
things
kids
from
come and they
table.
plant the stuff themselves and then
So you
pick up
got
their little things.
workspace. It's working space. Okay.
So it just goes up from there.
Yeah.
The more the
Right.
bigger the garden, the more expensive. But
Exactly,
But
yeah.
you don't have to go crazy. You can do something little cute.
Kids parties, though. What a great
Kids'
idea.
parties. That is a great idea. Because, I mean, parents are always looking for a way to have something fun and different
Exactly. Yeah.
to make the child's party super special. So I think that would be just incredible. And then all the kids get to take home their
We
little
got to
fairy
tie her in
gardens.
with Shelby.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of our other locals who does event planning and that kind of thing. To say, hey, we got to just connect you guys.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the purpose of the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're here.
Overlapping circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want
Yeah.
everybody-
Yeah. Well,
want
and we
everybody
do
else.
adult parties too.
Oh, I bet you do.
One of my favorites
Yeah.
was a grandmother's birthday,
Oh,
and she
so
was in her
sweet.
80s.
Oh my
and so
gosh.
her whole family came and they made
Did they
things.
really?
And then they bought all of her things for her. So she made her own garden, and she was so adorable. And she said, "I need a knight in shining armor in my fairy garden."
Did you have it?
happened to find a little Viking. I'm like, "Is this close enough? Close enough." And she was like, "I love it." It was adorable.
That is
Perfect.
incredible. Yes, I love that so much.
Yeah. How many employees? Do you have employees or is
Mm-hmm.
it pretty much just you?
I have 2 employees.
Okay. And so they're trained in fairy gardening,
Yes.
or they just pick it up and you can kind of teach them what you need them to know?
I teach them, but they also start teaching me because sometimes, customers come in and new things get asked for, things happen and
Yeah.
they make suggestions. And I like to let them have their creativity too. Like they
Right.
make displays and fairy gardens to sell
for
that are
you.
already
That's
made. And
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
They love working there.
That's incredible.
Do you have a specific business philosophy that you operate your store by?
I do. It's a Henry Ford quote.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, "The man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops the clock to save time."
It's a good
So
philosophy. Yes.
even in this economical times when things are a little slower,
Yep.
I still advertise. I think
Yeah.
that you can't stop advertising.
Right. Well, people need to find you because what you're doing is so special. And so if you're not advertising and you're not sharing, they're not going to find you.
Right.
The little fairies are going to be lonely. It is so fantastic. I just love it so much. How much space do you have? Like, how big of a party could somebody have?
Okay, so right now in our little fairy room, we have 10 chairs in there. So I'd say if it's kids, we could fit 10. But if it's adults, they're more comfortable with maybe 6 because they're
Perfect.
kind of
Okay.
cozy. But
Good to know.
so
I-
we're working
that's-
on that. Future dreams are to have a bigger space
Sure.
so we can have bigger parties
Yeah.
and such. Yeah.
But I think 6, I mean, that way everybody can get attention with 3 employees, like you and 2 employees, that everybody kind of gets what they need and their questions answered and stuff like that too.
Yes.
So it sounds like it's the perfect size space.
Did you ever set up a shop at the Ren Fest, at the Renaissance Fair?
I did before I had the store.
I
Did
can
you?
see this
Yeah.
being fit there.
I bet People loved it, didn't they?
I would put up tents and, they want you to decorate the tent like Renaissance era. So we did that. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Did you wear the garb?
We did.
Did you?
You have to.
You'd be ostracized otherwise.
Of course.
Yes. You English people, nothing God.
Oh my gosh. This was really fun, Kim.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share about any of the beautiful display that you have here? I mean, I hope everybody can appreciate the
Just
intricacy.
a level of detail.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The details are absolutely incredible. I love all this this type of fern.
The moss.
The moss, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to water that, do you?
That one, no.
You might be able to keep that.
It's
I could probably keep a
preserved.
bowl of moss.
It's so funny because some people come in and they say, I kill everything. I'm not good with plants.
Yeah.
So we have artificial stuff.
Oh,
And so you can use the artificial moss and then
You're a solution-oriented
Yes,
woman.
Exactly.
I like that.
That's what we're hearing.
Yeah. Anything else that you'd like to share?
I think that's it.
Wasn't this fun,
I love
you
it.
guys? This is so cool. Graham, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
He never wants to say a word. We'll get him over on this side of the camera one of these days.
You think so?
Yep, I do.
Okay.
But if you like what you're seeing, hearing, thinking, saying, doing, what should they do?
Subscribe, share, like,
Smash that subscribe button.
and follow Kim.
In the village. Go
Yeah.
to the village and
Yeah.
just hang out and
Yeah.
build yourself
Build a fairy garden. Yeah. And all the joy that goes with that. Fantastic. Thank you,
Right.
guys. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Don't stop me. Don't stop me now.
I can tell you're passionate about it, but it's more about you just being really super passionate about bringing joy to people's lives.
It's fun. I mean, I had a woman tell me one time she was, she had cancer, and she said that she came back to me. She had bought things to do in a pot on her porch, and she took them home. And then she came back one day, and she said, I have cancer, and when I was sitting making my fairy garden, it was so fun, and I forgot about my pain in that moment, and how much joy she got from that she could just life is not all bad.
Yes,
This
she
is
found-
fun, right?
It's like a little retreat for her.
Exactly. Yeah, it was sweet. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so special. That's really so special. Thank you so much for sharing that.